Hey everybody, sorry for the handheld, but we're running late. Movie starts in 9 minutes. We're actually doing the rewatch today of Ghostbusters. That's right, the original fucking awesome Ghostbusters. Fathom Events, big screen at Regal, exciting time. So, it's Ghostbusters week by the time you're seeing this. That's why it's so bright out. It's like almost 7 o'clock. And yeah, so I gotta go in there and I'm gonna give me a drink and we're gonna go enjoy the big ass awesome screening of Ghostbusters, and they're gonna have like a special sneak peek thing of the new movie. Really interested to see how that's gonna go over with a crowd of old school fans. So excited. It's been she hasn't seen it in a couple years, and I've seen it maybe like a year or so ago. I've probably seen it more than she has, but you know, she definitely seen it. So let's go bust some ghosts, shall we? Let's watch. So there you go. We saw the classic Ghostbusters on the big screen. I enjoyed seeing it on the big screen because honestly, there's a few little things I've never noticed in the thousands of times I've watched the movie because there are really tiny details. But I want to point those out just real quick before I forget them. When they shoot at the housekeeping cart lady in the hotel, as they're walking away, you know, after the nice shooting text, there's a little bit of fire in the background. I always noticed that. I didn't notice she's always trying to put it out with the water bottle. She's squirting the water bottle at it, trying to put it out.
I missed that.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Caught the Ron Jeremy cameo now, of course. Kids, ask your parents.
Yeah, go ahead and
ask your parents. Oh man, I'm gonna get in trouble for that one.
That's with Funko. Your little Funko guy.
Yeah, Funko shenanigans. But so that was cool. I know there were some other things. Maybe I'll remember as we go. Movie holds up very, very well. I think it does. Apparently, we're going to argue on some stuff here. I was going to say, there's a few things I was going to say. The effects, they don't necessarily hold up. The pacing's a little, well, they're not terrible, though. Considering it's an 80s film.
I know, and I have to keep going. It's an 80s film.
Right. But I'm saying, so I agree that they don't hold up that well. I mean, Slimer kind of holds up pretty well.
I'm not sure. Did they look that good in the 80s?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that was like top of the line effects for the 1980s. You know, because you're seeing through the things that are green screened and all that. That's just the chemical. That's the way the film processing of all that worked. That's what it looked like. They've not done a special edition restoration of this film, which is the other thing I was going to say. I don't think we had a surround sound version. I think it is a newer restoration, but it's still a very, very grainy film. And it, you know, the pacing is not terrible, but the pacing is starting to feel a little dated in the beginning. Once they actually form the Ghostbusters, I think the pacing's pretty good. But kind of those opening scenes are a little dry and a little lacking in sound design. And, you know, I was like, oh. I guess where it's amplified in a big theater, I'm like, this is awfully quiet in a lot of parts. but it still works. The guys are still great. Performance is still great. Writing's still great. Lots of laughing out loud through the whole theater. Lots of great giggles.
I don't think I laughed out loud at all.
Yeah, you did.
I chuckled a few times.
That's laughing out loud.
No. That's laughing out loud.
No, that's dying laughing. If you make a noise out loud that sounds anything like laughter, that is laughing out loud. Instead of... I guess that counts as laughing out loud. Whatever. So, okay. Here's the part where our relationship falls apart. I claim this as more of a kid's horror film or a horror comedy. This is not a straight comedy. It is a horror movie with comedic elements in it and comedic characters dropped into extreme situations. The lighting is horror film lighting. The monsters are horror film. The music, when it's not Venkman, is horror film music, but Venkman has his own goofy comedy music that totally works. Outside of Venkman, and a few Rick Moranis moments, it could play as a straight horror film. What counts for a ghost story horror film in the 80s? That is my take on it. And that's why I'm pissed when Paul Feig showed up at the end and said, one of the greatest comedies. I'm like, it's a horror comedy, you asshole. Sorry. This is not a rant against the new Ghostbusters. I'm going to try not to do too much of that in this video. Okay, your take?
Okay, I saw this in the theaters. I was, what, 5?
That sounds about right, 84, I think.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, so yeah, if it was summer 84, I'd been 5. Okay. And, yeah, Slimer scared me. I think the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man scared me. Because that's actually one of the places where the special effects actually holds up pretty well.
Yeah, Stay Puft still works. The zombie cab driver, I think, is still creepy as fuck, too.
I don't remember my reaction to him. I may have still been hiding from other things at that point. But as an adult, it's just, I look at my 5-year-old self and go, what the hell is your problem?
But come on, in all fairness, I mean, that was like, what? I mean, that's over 30 years ago. You know, the movie is not gonna hold, the climate of horror films, the climate of human emotion and expectations from cinema has changed enormously in 30 years. So yeah, it's not a scary movie by today's standards by any means, unless maybe you show it to like a 4 or 5-year-old kid. But for what horror was, which again, and maybe this is where I grew up a horror kid.
Why I'm not sure it ages that well.
Okay, that's kind of a valid argument. I will give you this. The horror side of it doesn't age nearly as well as the comedy side aged.
Yeah, the dialogue, the banter and all that works fairly well, but I think that probably had more to do with mostly Venkman and or actually let me just say Aykroyd and
Murray.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Venkman and Stantz.
You know.
Oh my god! I'll be getting the names right in this video.
Mostly, they already had tons of pre-existing chemistry.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how much of what they had was scripted, especially Murray's stuff.
No, there's a lot of ad-libbing in the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been notoriously documented. And that's again why I say it's more of a horror with comedy, because they brought a lot more of the comedy in through the ad-libus.
Yeah.
Ad-libus. But
yeah, it's just like, and it's just like, to me, if you ask me to actually classify it, I'm gonna be like, that's not really horror. It's sort of a comedy, but it's
right.
Sort of a sci-fi.
And again, I do reiterate that this is you classifying it by standards of today. You know, right. 30 plus years after this movie came out. You know, whereas I'm definitely still looking at it with what the tone and atmosphere of cinema was in that early to mid 80s period.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're not that far past stereo audio.
And actually, from what I remembered, you know, kind of because it's been a very, very, very long time since I've seen this. And from what I remember, it's like I was really expecting more comedy. I was expecting to actually laugh more than I actually did.
That's fair. That's that's expectations. That's totally fair.
So.
Yeah, I'm not saying that this holds up as a
I
really.
want to see the second one now, because I remember really liking the second one.
Yeah, I'll do this real quick. But the second one, I love the second one. I'm with you. I love it. It is regarded as nowhere near as good a movie by general consensus. I don't get that. I'm anxious to rewatch it. But I think what they're saying is, coming back to the argument we were kind of having, is in the second one they did go more for the comedy. They tried for the comedy instead of it happening more naturally. And it plays as more of a comedy with less horror in it. So again, for the attitudes of the time, I think that's why it's less well regarded.
I remember the second movie probably a lot better than I remember the first one.
Yeah. Well, plus there's the whole age thing, because, you know, there's a couple more years makes a big difference at that age in terms of what you remember.
I've seen it more.
That's possible, too.
I have a question.
Yeah, I have an answer.
What the hell is the point of having Winston?
Well, he knows New York. No, I'm not doing that. Well, I mean, I don't know. You
could have completely cut him from the movie, and I don't think the movie would have suffered from it.
That's very valid. I really don't have an argument for that. I mean, I appreciate that he's in there. I love what Ernie Hudson does, but...
Yeah, Ernie Hudson, wonderful. I mean, what little he has to work with was great. Are there cutscenes or something?
Well, here's the real quick backstory. I may have some of these details wrong, but the original script was for 4 Ghostbusters, and Eddie Murphy was going to be the 4th. Once Eddie Murphy dropped out for whatever reasons, I don't remember how the story goes, they then, they cut back the role and cut back the role and cut back the role. So I think it's a thing of, if they had started without ever thinking of a 4th character, they would have never written a 4th character. But because the draft, by the time they were ready to make the movie, still had elements of that 4th character in. They had already written the structure around having 4 characters, and even though they ended up giving a lot of the Eddie Murphy stuff to the other guys, that's kind of my understanding of how that happened.
Because it seemed to me it would have made more sense to add his Winslow if Winslow had some piece of the puzzle.
Or if he was there from the beginning of he's the audience, and he's the eyes we see it through because we're going to see this weird shit that the other guys are used to.
Yeah.
Granted, then again, that's based on more modern takes on how cinema works. But, but no, you're valid. That makes a point. You really could have that same movie without Winston. He doesn't really contribute much to it, other than a couple of great lines, particularly, Your Honor, I've been with these guys for only a few weeks, but I have seen shit that will turn you white. I mean, so I have a feel that actually, now that I say it, not that I'm anywhere near as good as those actors, but that had to have been an Eddie Murphy line, because now I'm hearing that in an Eddie Murphy voice being even funnier.
That
so.
And, Ray, the next time if a god asks you if you're God.
Yeah, you say yes. I still quote that line all the time.
Actually,
I love it.
Someone asked you.
Yeah, you got it. You got it close enough, though. Yeah, no, admittedly, there are definitely still some very quotable lines in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I even quoted one. You've seen a long movie, you've had some drinks, you go to the restroom afterwards, and of course, as we're walking into the stalls and splitting up, it's, see you on the other side, Dr. Venkman. How do you not make those jokes? And if it was two dudes going to the bathroom, I'm sure there might have been, do not cross the streams jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I really enjoyed it, and again, it was interesting to see. I think some people might have brought their kids for like the first time. I'm not sure. I got that vibe that was going on in there. And I would be curious, like, what a child of our age when we saw it, seeing it today, like, I would be curious what their take on it is, coming from a whole different generation. Because I don't know if it would sell to the kids. But, without getting too into it, I'm not sure the newer version's going to sell to kids either, because it looks like it's going in a different type of comedy, more adultish comedy, sex jokes kind of way, so.
Yeah, this is true. And I have a very distinct feeling I'm going to like it a lot more than you're going to like it.
Yes, and I'll talk briefly about this, then I'll shut up about it, but my take on the new Ghostbusters now is I'm just going to go in with, look, it's like pizza. Even bad Ghostbusters are still Ghostbusters, and there's going to be some kind of enjoyable element to it.
Have you ever had school cafeteria pizza?
Yes, I like school cafeteria pizza. I know. Those kid cuisine things with like the rectangular pizza? I could go heat that up right now and go to town on it, and I would still like it. Okay, so oddly enough, I thought our relationship would end over our dispute on Ghostbusters, but apparently it's going to end on our dispute over cafeteria pizza. And she was never seen with me again. Oh well. Of all the ways. Oh!
We seem to have some paranormal activity going on.
Yeah. Okay. So there's that. That just happened.
So what, class 5 vapor?
I don't know. I gotta go look it up in Tobin's Spirit Guide. So
see you later?
Yeah, so there you go. So on that note, guys, I think it's time to do the wrap-up spiel. What do you think of our opinions on this rewatch? Do you agree? Does it hold? When's the last time you've seen it before because that may taint how you think of our opinions on this rewatch. But let's talk about it down in the comments. Geek out, favorite scene, favorite character, just any Ghostbusters stuff you want to talk about. Let's talk Ghostbusters because it is Ghostbusters week. You enjoy what we're doing? You want to see us alive and this ghost not kill us? Let's give us the thumbs up of encouragement. Please don't kill us, ghost. And encourage me to do more things like this. And subscribe if you haven't. We do fun, cool, geeky, nerdy things here every single day. And share with your friends so they can come and make this a bigger party all together. Ooh, look, I'm almost getting a lens flare behind your head. We're turning into Abrams territory. But so guys.
No, that's a couple of weeks when we do Star Trek.
Well, this actually will be after Star Trek week.
Oh, really?
Star Trek comes out first, I'm pretty sure.
Time travel's so confusing!
Yeah, I know, right? Okay. Internet time travel for the win. All right, guys, well, we're going to get out of here and we're going to go bust some ghosts. So we will see you all later.